Hi, this is Subramaniam Shankaran from IEEE, and today we are going to have a look at the Air Europa attack. We are going to do a root cause analysis on how, or what could have been the possibility or root causes for this attack to have happened. Now, this attack is a privacy attack, okay, because there had been the names of the card holder, okay, the credit card details, all these things have been disclosed to the hacker. Okay, and this was reported on 10th of October, but this is after 41 days. Ideally, by 28th of August, this attack should have happened. Okay, so it was observed or reported only on 10th of October. Now, what could have been the root cause of what exactly happened to this attack is what we're actually going to see here. Now, airline's payment system was breached, and the credit card details of the customers were actually exposed. And as we discussed, 41 days after the attack, it was actually reported. Air Europa, and it's actually based out of Spain, so which comes under the EU GDPR. And as per the GDPR rules and regulations, they should have reported this attack within 72 hours to the supervisory authority, but they did not actually do it. Now, they have sent an email to the customers asking them to block their credit card, debit card, whatever it is, which they have registered on the system. And the Spanish Consumer Association, OCU, has recommended the users to actually block the credit card as per the guidelines or the advisory from the Air Europa. But at the same time, they reported this incident to the supervisory authority in Spain, which made them to do the investigation. They found that a lot of things were actually missing. We'll see that. Air Europa notified the data breach to the supervisory authority AEPD related to unauthorized access, and number of data subjects data compromised was 489,000. Okay, and the records were until 1 to 1.5 million. Okay, they said the unauthorized access was carried out by hacking and the malware. Okay, the problem is not only this. Okay, during the posterior audit, they found they used the weak password. They did not use the multi-factor authentication, and most of the controls that were a bit relaxed were all technical. Obviously, because the attack was carried out technically, physically. Okay, more of it. The Air Europa has actually classified this particular incident as a medium incident. Okay, there's a medium risk. They did not actually disclose this incident to the data subjects, okay, the impacted people because of this. Okay. Now, again, the AEPD, the supervisory authority, was notified for after a month's time. Okay, exactly, I think 41 days after the attack. Observations when the supervisory authority made the investigation, they found that they did not have enough of security controls actually in place. And the worst thing is yet to come because they did not even have a mechanism to detect an incident. They were not even have the preparation. They did not even have the preparation for it. Okay, in fact, we had an excellent webinar by Sri Sanjay Vaid a couple of days back on the security incidents response. And the first step is for the preparation. Okay, they did not even have the preparation done for the incident response. Okay, we'll discuss about that. It's not just this, and the same organization, Air Europa, had an incident in 2018, and in 2021 they were actually penalized. Okay, so it's not the first time that the organization is actually facing a problem. Now, the penalty due to the infringement of Article 32, which is the lack of appropriate technical and organization measures, the penalty was 500,000 euros. And due to the infringement of the Article 32, which is delay in notifying the supervisory authority and the data subjects. Okay, so the penalty was 100,000 euros. So 600,000 euros was the total penalty for Air Europa for this particular incident. Now, what we need to learn from here is now this penalty is aggregated penalty because they have for a lack of appropriate technical control and then for non-notification. Okay, so delay in notification basically. So it all adds up. Now usually in the EU GDPR, we all know that the penalty is 4% of the gross GDP, or globally, and or it's going to be 20 million euros. Okay, 20 million euros is not the highest ceiling. In fact, if you look at the penalty uh, imposed on Meta, okay, in Ireland, recently it was 2 billion. Okay, it's all in the news. You can actually go through it. So 1.2 billion, how can it be 1.2 billion? So it all aggregated to the 1.2 billion. Like what we are seeing here is 600,000 euros, comparatively lesser than the topmost. It's still a penalty. Okay, I'm not saying that lesser the number is better, okay, not the larger number. Penalty is actually a penalty, okay, because of not following the technical controls and delay in notification. Now, what could have caused these things? Okay, this incident is something that we know. Okay, they said during the posterior audit, they found out the technical controls were not up to the mark, and they did not have a proper incident response procedure or notification procedure. If that had been there, they wouldn't have been waiting for 72 hours or 41 days to actually report it. Let's look at what all the solutions possibly we could have suggested or they could have had deployed to prevent this. Strong incident management, okay, strong incident response procedure, and having a good team, SIRT or CSIRT, security incident response team, or computer security incident response team, or computer emergency response team, or IR team. Okay, all it means the same. Strong identity and access management and de-identification procedures. Now, the strong incident response procedure has got these steps. Okay, one is actually called the preparation, identification, containment. These are the phases, 7 phases actually. Preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, learning, and testing. What's the preparation? If you want to find out the intruder entering your premises or intruder who's trying to enter your house, what you will actually do? You'll go for a CCTV camera, okay, or motion detectors, okay, alarm based on the motion detectors. You need to prepare your environment so that it can alert you whenever there is an intruder coming onto your facility. Same thing should have happened technically also. What could be that? SIM. Okay, SIM, intrusion detection system, prevention system, can thwart an attack. Okay, so detection system can only detect it, and SIM can also. But ideally, what happens is the alerts from the IDS and SIM, and IDS can also be one of the sources for the SIM. And these alerts are, routed to the SOC team, Security Operations Center team, who will actually look out for false positives or whether it's a true attack. Okay, and then they will assign it, they will analyze that and assign it to the team, and who will have the clock ticking, the SLA, to actually respond and actually close it. Okay, now IDAM, identity and access. No, it's not. It's not IDAM preparation. Okay, it's an SART preparation. So SART, security incidents and response team, develop and update a plan. If you don't have the plan already with you, then you have to actually develop it. Okay, so determine in this particular stage, you will speak to each and every stakeholder. You will identify you will actually identify the recovery time objective, recovery point objective, work recovery time, and then you want to basically consider hot site, on site, off site, near site, and you want to go for a hot site, cold site, warm site, reciprocal arrangement. All these strategies is what you will actually design and you will actually document it. Okay, if you don't have proper tools, then we need to acquire it on this particular stage, because we don't have a SIM, if we don't have an IDS, acquire it, train the resources, let them actually configure and monitor it. Okay, have a SOC team ready 24/7, and any incident that has been reported, you will actually have it as a part of your, you'll have it reported to the SOC team, who will analyze and assign to the proper team. Now, de-identification. Okay, so identification of the attack, okay, is what we need to consider here. So this SIM and IDS devices, moment you are going to have it, if there is an attack, then they will anyway report it to you, and you need to analyze whether it's an actual attack or something which is very serious. Because I have worked as a head of an organization, managing a huge security team. One of the teams that I managed is the SCOP team. Now, my customer had a double-blind, PT strategy. That means they hired a different organization to do the penetration testing, who will do the penetration testing whenever they actually want. Okay, but my SOC team has to catch the penetration testing, and they will do an analysis to see if there's an PT or is actual attack. If it's a PT, then we get a confirmation from the team, and then the team that is doing a PT, and we actually close it. If it's an actual attack, then we go for the following steps. Containment. For example, if one of the systems is actually infected with a bot, like a bot is a small piece of code, and the bot makes the system as a zombie, and collection of zombies, okay, does form what is called the botnet. Now, if there is a botnet attack, the SOC team will say that there are a lot of outbound traffic, the source IP is internal, and the external IP is a weird IP. Okay, in that particular case, okay, if I find initially one or two systems, I'll remove them from the network. It's actually called the containment. It's very similar to the times of the COVID, okay, when during the disembarkation from the airport, and they enter the airport, disembarkation from the flight, and they enter the airport. Now you screen them if you feel that they have a flu, temperature, then you actually isolate them. So this is actually the containment. Containment is isolation. The system that is infected is actually isolated. Okay. Then you find out the root cause. You find the bot. You actually remove it. Okay. In fact, let me tell you something. I use Android mobile, and I use actually a tool called Sophos Mobile Intercept. It's a free one. Having that tool on the mobile phone, okay, I have advised a lot of people to have that tool on the mobile phone. If there is a malicious application, it can actually detect it. It will not even allow an installation. Or if it's already installed, then you install this Sophos Mobile Intercept, and then it eradicates that particular malware. So eradication is to ensure that the root cause, the bot in the scenario which I'm telling you, okay, is actually eradicated, removed from the system. Now, recovery, ideally, will put back the system onto the business. Now, after the eradication of the root cause, immediately you will not actually put the system on the or deploy the system on the production. You will do what is called as a sanity check to see whether the things are actually happening as per what as it's supposed to be. Okay, and then it's a clean system. It will not cause a problem again. You'll remove the local admin accesses. Okay, you'll apply the patch. You'll update the antivirus signature. You will update and you will apply the personal firewall. All the security controls you will put onto that system, and then only you will deploy that onto your production network. Okay, that's not the recovery phase. Lessons learned. Okay, see, we are facing a lot of problems every day. Okay, in IT, cybersecurity, you can fight different issues. You cannot fight the same issue every day. So you need to have the lessons learned document updated, and people needs to be trained on it so that they prevent the same mistake again. There was a situation where I had to take over another company from the security perspective. We are taking it's an acquisition. When I did a firewall rule review, there were two any allow. Okay, one rule itself is enough to make the firewall as a fire pass actually, but there were two rules. And I asked them, they said the network administrator. They once had network problem. The network administrator put this rule so that the problem got resolved. Then I said, why the second time? They told me, that administrator actually resigned and he joined another organization. They had a very similar problem. And somebody advised the new system and new network administrator, put the any allow. It'll actually work. He did not work because the problem was not there, because it was not all a firewall. Okay. So the lessons learned is something that you need to learn a good lesson and document it so that we don't repeat that mistake. So what I did in this particular scenario, I said, boss, we will do a firewall rule review and help you with it, but we are going to remove these these two rules from a firewall because it's not even working as a firewall. Any rules that are matching for the incoming traffic is taken. If the rules are not matching, it's not default to deny. Okay, so that was actually causing a problem. So lessons learned. Okay, document what you have learned in cybersecurity, especially with the incident. Most of the service management tool has got this. Even in Remedy, if you're going to type a description, it'll show you, okay, the previous 5 incidents that are on the same category or for the same category. Okay, you can do a first call resolution if at all you can. Okay, do a testing and retesting. Okay, when I do a VAPD today, the vulnerabilities today are not the vulnerabilities for tomorrow. For example, today I'm scanning a network or scanning a system. There were no vulnerabilities reported. But tomorrow there could be a vulnerability report. How is it possible? Go to National Vulnerability Database, NVD. Okay, the US government website, you can see the vulnerabilities listed there. If the vulnerabilities are listed, okay, for let's say 23rd of October 2023, that means until 2022, it was not reported. I'm not saying that you have to do a VAPT every day, but there are tools like Qualys which can do a continuous vulnerability assessment. Okay, you need at least the vulnerability scan needs to happen periodically. Okay, the frequency is something which I'm leaving it to you. Okay, if you can do it every day, it's fine, depending on the number of assets under the scope. There are organizations that does it every week, every month, every fortnight. Longer the periodicity, more problem you're going to have. But closer the periodicity, more work you're going to have. Security or work. Your team is huge. You can manage it, you do it. For the security of the organization. Test it, retest it. Continuous VAPT. Okay, at least penetration testing needs to be periodic. Okay, dormant ID management needs to be periodic. Patching, antivirus updates, all this thing needs to be periodic. Okay, test and then ensure that the system and the production is always good, especially when the system has a public IP. Private IP, I'll not say it's totally safe because that's an insider attack. After public IP, definitely you need to secure it. Strong identity and access management, strong passwords. Strong passwords are not longer password. Okay, in my class, in CSSP class, I used to teach my students. If the password is 20 characters, three uppercase, three numerics, and three special characters, okay, theoretically it looks like a strong password, but no, people will write it down somewhere. It defeats the purpose of security. Okay, your password should be easy to remember and hard to break or hard to guess. Trust boundaries establishment. Okay, usually the application support team will take care of it. If you look at the internet banking, okay, the initial site will be publicly classified. Anybody can see it. You see it. Okay, you don't need to have a user ID and password. Moment you want to look at your account detail, you need to put the user ID and password. Okay, this will lead to a disclosure. Okay, but again, shoulder surfing attacks. Okay, maybe it will lead to a disclosure. If you want to transfer the funds from your account to another account, then you'll get a OTP. The trust boundary changes public to confidential, confidential to critical. So when you design your application, you can also consider the trust boundaries, okay, and authentication mechanism. Sometimes the authentication or security is inherited. When I say inherited, for example, the OTP that I receive on my mobile phone is inheriting the access control that I have for my mobile. It could be a fingerprint, it could be a PIN, it could be a facial recognition. Okay, it inherits it. For me, PIN is good. Okay, because fingerprint is something somebody can even chop off my finger and paste it on the mobile phone. They can open it. Facial recognition, they can forcefully show it on my face. Like kids play, but fact is a fact. Okay, the other one is multi-factor authentication. Okay, and go for a zero trust. We had an excellent webinar by S. Venkatesh a couple of weeks back. It's on my channel on the zero trust. You can actually watch it, and that's predominantly on what is called the InstaSafe, the one popular products that you can use for your zero trust. De-identification. See, I see. Basically, I still don't understand how the data can be disclosed if you're going to have it encrypted. See, if the hacker encrypts it with ransomware, okay, we shout. Ideally, when we actually encrypt it, if it's disclosed, okay, and you cannot, if it is disclosed, then even the hacker cannot actually read it. Okay, they can, ransomware attack is still possible. Okay, they can encrypt the already encrypted data. Okay, they can give you the key only after you give them the ransom. May or may not. But in case of an extortion, okay, or a disclosure, I'm still not convinced. See, because if the credit card details are, encrypted or they are masked, okay, masked for the trailers or the headers, whatever it is, and pseudonymization. Okay, for some reason I'm not able to pronounce this properly. Okay, so these type of solutions are something that can be easily deployed. Okay, so that even if there is going to be an attack, let's say SQL injection attack disclosing the credit card details, and they're all masked or they're encrypted. Okay, the hacker cannot even read it. Okay, I'm sure this should have been an easy way to prevent it, because for the confidentiality, we have four layers, right? One is identification, authentication, authorization, and then the encryption. Identification can be spoofed, authentication can be broken, and authorization can be creeped. Okay, but encryption is something you cannot break it. People still say data encryption standard was broken in 1998, but that is just DES. That's just DES. AES is not broken. Go for a strong key. Okay, AES is not broken. Go for an encryption algorithm, okay, which is proven. Okay, and then it is not broken. You can actually use it. Okay, if that is the case, this problem should have been avoided. Okay, strong identification, preparation for SART, strong IDAM, okay, and de-identification techniques, okay, should have ideally stopped this attack and saved 600,000 euros for Air Europa. Okay, thanks for watching this video. More videos on root cause analysis is on the way. Stay subscribed to this channel, and enjoy. Stay safe and stay secure. Enjoy yourself. Cheers.